So let's look at creating a digital marketing headline. We're going to take everything we've learned before, and now we're going to take those principles of how to create a marketing mission statement, but we're also going to use those now to show you how to create a digital marketing headline, which is slightly different because of slightly different functionality and purpose because of the type of content it's applied to. So let's just define it. It's created for online product. And when I say product, I'm talking about websites, blogs. We'll talk about some of the different ones in the next slide. But it's different to traditional copywriting. Now, most people, when they do copywriting and they teach copywriting, they're teaching from a newspaper perspective because that's where they learn. But online digital headlines, marketing headlines, are different because they have to have an SEO value. But at the same time, they often have to focus on creating a call to action. And it's finding the balance that is tricky. And this technique we're about to show you will show you how to find that balance. So what types of headlines can we create? Well, we've got social media posts, blog posts. If you're launching an ebook, you're going to need to do this. Web pages, YouTube videos, digital products, and Udemy titles. So if you're creating a Udemy course, this is going to be the specific technique you need to create a title for that. Now, what's interesting about all of these, why do all of these need to be done this way? Because all of these are going to be indexable in search. I'm just going to put a small caveat in there for social media posts. Google Plus posts and YouTube posts, they're going to be indexed in search because they're owned by Google, but Facebook and Twitter posts are not going to be indexed in Google. So when you're writing content for them, you can concentrate on sales copy. You don't need to worry about SEO if you're creating a post or a tweet on Facebook or Twitter to bring someone back to your content. Then it's more about the call to action, and traditional copywriting skills play a large part there. But what we're talking about is we have to have the SEO benefit. Our content has to be found in search. So the titles we write is going to directly impact how they're found in search. So this is a little bit different to a marketing mission statement, but exactly the same techniques of how to target your audience are used, how to define what they're searching for. And we're going to go into that now and have a look at that. And you'll see the techniques you learned there are fundamental. Once you've mastered how to write a marketing mission statement, creating headlines, either in traditional copy or in the example we're going to teach you now in in digital marketing headlines, is easy. So let's have a look. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask two questions. You remember we had SEO and we had the other side of it, the sales copy or the call to action. We need to answer both of these sections. So let's look at the SEO. First of all, we have to think about what is it the client is trying to buy. In other words, when they type into Google, what will they look for? What are they trying to buy? Well, how will they search? What will they search for? The first thing we have to decide is our potential client going to search with layman's terms or technical terms? A lot of the time when people are learning this, they search in layman's terms because they don't understand particular language. So if someone was brand new to creating apps on an iPhone, you can probably title it in layman's terms. They're going to be asking, how do I make apps for an iPhone? And you have to be thinking about that. Whereas someone who's technical is going to be asking you about a specific coding language for an app, maybe. So then you're going to think, what is your client trying to buy? And you've got to think about who your client is. So this goes back to everything we've been teaching throughout the course, identifying your niche client, bringing those skills here, and then deciding for the SEO value, are we going to target layman terms SEO, or are we going to target technical terms SEO? And when we say SEO, we're talking about search engine optimization. That is basically titles that Google will index and return when someone searches for that and matches that title. So what comes into that then is what keywords do they use? And the keywords are the words, and we'll show you some examples, and we'll discuss that and show you some keywords in a moment and some examples. But what keywords are they using? Now, this screen share you can see right now is also available as a PDF in the course, so please download it, and you'll see the link on the PDF for a research keyword tool, which is very, very useful. It uses Google's predictive search. Google, when it predicts a search, is going to predict what it thinks the person's actually looking for, and it's going to throw up some interesting keyword ideas, because it's going to give you words you've not thought of before. The problem at the moment with finding keywords for searches, in the past, Google would show you those keywords, and they don't do that anymore. They've locked that away. So what we need to do is we need to go in through a backdoor, and that tool will take you in a backdoor. So have a play with that. Put one keyword in, see what other keywords it suggests, and you'll start figuring out what people typically search for, because Google will auto-suggest the most popular search. So let's move on. We've got the answer, the quote, the anticipated search query. That now becomes the first part of the title. So we want to take the search query and the keywords and put that into the first part of the title. And we'll show you some examples in a moment, like we said. We also want to think, what they're going to gain. Is it emotional gain, intellectual gain, physical gain? Physical gain obviously encompasses also financial gain, because that tends to fit there, although it can be emotional as well. But I've got these three types just to help you just think of the basic types. And I personally would put financial gain in the physical gain section. Now, once we've sat down, we've gone through the process, and we shared earlier in the training, choose the strongest gain, choose the strongest thing that the person is looking for. Now we need to describe the gain as a benefit. So now we need to flip it over, and that becomes the second part of our title. So we need to make it personal, we need to focus on them and address it to them. We take those two parts, we combine them into a title, and that's how we get around the problem of creating an SEO friendly and a sales friendly marketing title. We want to be found in search, but we also want there to be a call to action that targeted people are going to respond to, and we're helping them towards the content they actually need. So let's go and have a look at some examples of this in action. Now, these titles are from the Udemy courses that I've created. These titles will probably change a little bit, so if you look at this after I've recorded this, you might find I play, because all the time I'm balancing the SEO and the call to action or the sales copy element of a title. So I'm balancing the two all the time, and I'm working and improving them all the time. And I suggest you do the same. But sometimes when you get it good, leave it. I'm terrible for playing with titles. Don't copy my example. When you get something that you think's working, leave it alone and see what's actually happening on that course. Because remember, that title is that title is the moment you've got the 3 seconds to pull someone in to read the rest of your content. So this is why we need to do this. We need to really grab their attention. So let's look at one from our Udemy course. This particular section, by the way, is perfectly suited for creating Udemy course titles, because we have the SEO from Udemy. So when you create a course on Udemy, you are actually borrowing the strength of Udemy's SEO. So you write titles and descriptions, and they're going to take that, and then because it's on their site, even though you wrote it, it's on their site, Google will index that very fast. As an example, my antiques course, when I put that on Udemy, within 24 hours at an index on my own website, is probably going to take about 3 to 6 months. And it's just because Udemy have got such strong web presence that when they put something new up, Google indexes it very quickly and then returns it in search very fast. So using that principle, we can ride on the back of Udemy, and any third-party platform where we put a title in can be very, very similar if Google's indexing them. So let's look at this title. Improve local business search results of Google Plus page SEO. Now, what I want you to point out here is, if you remember in the illustration we showed you, the first part was SEO and the second part was the call to action or the sales copy. In this, I flipped it. So the first part is actually the benefit, improve local business search results. If you're a business and you take my course, I'm going to help you improve your local business search results. That's a clear stated benefit, and that is something they're going to search for. But let's look at the keywords. Let's look at the SEO. What are they going to find this on? They're going to find it on local business search results. They're going to find local search SEO, Google Plus SEO. And you can see here that the SEO is very strong, but there is a benefit. We're going to improve local business search results. Now, if I had a little more bit space, I would extend that improve, and I would make it a little bit more powerful, but I'm working in limited space, and it's finding that balance all the time. So that's one example. So let's look at another one. Now, none of these are really that emotive. Sometimes I write emotive headlines, but these aren't, because I'm looking at from the perspective of the person that's searching. And so this one, for instance, what's the benefit? Customers act on. So customers are going to act on your headline if you learn what I'm teaching. And this is the course itself, obviously, that you're watching now. Hopefully this headline will last a little while longer than they normally do. But what am I saying? So SEO, write, copywriting, marketing, headlines. So let's have a look at that in a few permutations. Write marketing headlines, copywriting headlines, write copywriting headlines, copywriting. All of these things are going to have SEO value in Google+, and if we remember about the Udemy section, it's going to have an impact in Udemy search when someone searches for copywriting. So beginning is SEO, write, copyright, marketing headlines, so there's an implication of learning there, so there's a benefit there, but customers act on. That's the main benefit. That's what I'm pushing through and helping people to understand. If you write good marketing headlines, customers will act on them. So let's look at our final example. Now this one at first doesn't seem that strong. And in fact, I know I can improve this. I wanted to show you because it's very subtle. Learn social media marketing strategic guide for beginners. Now, where's the value? Learn, beginners. Now I've actually got a beginning and an end here. So I'm saying beginners can learn. So social media marketing, I'm targeting people that are looking at social media marketing and thinking, what is it all about? And I'm helping them to understand the strategies behind social media marketing, how social media marketing actually works. So there is a benefit there. They're going to learn social media marketing, especially if they're a beginner. As you can see in this one, I've actually split it and put it in between. So when I say one side on one side, that's to help you figure it out. But what I often do is I'll open up Notepad or something, some Word document. I'll create a headline. I'll copy it. I'll see the length that I need to be, like on Udemy, for instance. If we're talking Udemy or whichever platform you're creating a headline for, some are not restricted, a lot are. You don't want to go too long anyway, because the headline needs to be short and impactful. So you want to limit yourself anyway. And then I'll write different ones underneath. Just a little tip for you there, and get variations. But once I've got the key themes, I can start playing with it. Well, what's it going to impact in SEO? Social media marketing, it's there. Learn social media marketing guide, strategic social media marketing for beginners. And you can see the SEO value of what I'm doing here in this section is very, very strong. And now, so when we come back now, think about traditional copywriting techniques. When you're learning them, people telling you to write a title, that's great. But just to reiterate, when it's an online digital marketing headline that gets indexed in search by Google, and we gave you some of the examples of where that happens, then we really need to make sure we balance the SEO and the sales copy, which is quite a difficult skill to learn. But take the PDF, download it, practice it, and you'll begin to see that you too can write digital marketing headlines. But make sure you go through all of the rest of the training. The marketing mission statement section is really important because we've locked all the techniques in there, all the principles, all the deep four. And when you think you should really be spending a good half hour to an hour on creating a marketing title if it's for a leading product or service you offer, or maybe a training course or an ebook, something where you really need to impact. Then learning these skills are really going to benefit you, but not writing good titles is actually going to damage you. So I'm hoping this section will really help you to understand how to create good SEO combined with good calls to action, and why traditional marketing headline writing does not work in this particular arena.